Hey, hey! Welcome back to the balanced life. Okay, real talk. Have you ever walked away from hanging out with a friend and just felt completely drained? Like, you need to go home and lie down for 3 hours. Yeah, we've all been there. Today, we're getting into toxic friendships, how to spot them, how to deal with them, and yeah, when it might be time to just let go.
And we're looking at this specifically through our lens as Taiwanese college students, because trust me, culture plays a bigger role in this than people think. I'm Yu. I've been navigating the whole friend scene here in Taiwan, and honestly, I have stories.
Ha, same. I'm Ella, 3rd year, and I have definitely paid some, let's call it friendship tuition. Alright, let's get into it. So, let's start super basic. What even is a toxic friend? Like, how do you define it?
Right. So, for me, it's less about one bad moment and more about a pattern, you know? It's that person who consistently makes you feel small, or guilty, or just off. Not like, oh, they had a rough week, but more like every interaction leaves you feeling worse than before.
Yeah, totally. And I think what makes it tricky here in Taiwan is we're brought up to value harmony in relationships, right? Like, don't rock the boat, keep the peace. So sometimes we let things slide way longer than we should.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like, there's almost this guilt that comes with even noticing that something's wrong. I had a friend who would constantly gossip about our other friends to me, and I just sat there nodding because calling it out felt rude, even though I was super uncomfortable.
Ooh, I know that feeling. I had someone who was chronically late, like every single time we made plans, an hour late, minimum. And I never said anything because I didn't want to seem uptight. But it was low-key really disrespectful.
And that's the thing. Individually, each of those moments feels small, but they stack up. And before you know it, you're dreading hanging out with someone who's supposedly your friend. That's a red flag.
Big red flag. Okay, so what do you actually do about it? Like, have you ever had to confront a friend or distanced yourself?
Yeah, there was this one person, super negative energy. Like, every conversation was about how terrible everything was, and over time I started to notice my own mood just tanking after we talked. I remember one afternoon I came home after seeing them and I just felt gray. That was the moment I was like, okay, something has to change.
How did you handle it?
Slowly, honestly, I started spending less time with them, being less available. And I know this sounds awful, but I genuinely felt lighter, like I could breathe again. It wasn't about hating them, it was just protecting my own headspace.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important distinction. It's not about being cruel. For me, I had a friend who would guilt trip me every time I made plans with other people, like full-on emotional manipulation. And eventually, I just had to have a direct conversation, super awkward, honestly sweated through it, but I said, hey, this doesn't feel healthy for either of us.
That takes guts. Especially because in Taiwanese culture, direct confrontation can feel like a big deal. But I think setting boundaries, even just small ones, is so necessary.
Right. And a boundary isn't an attack. It's just, here's what I need. And if they can't respect that, then, well, that tells you something.
For sure. And I think a lot of us struggle with this nagging feeling of like, am I overreacting? Am I the toxic one? And look, self-reflection is healthy. But if you've been honest with yourself and you're still consistently feeling drained and anxious around someone, that's real. That's valid.
Exactly. And cutting ties, or even just creating distance, it's not a failure. Sometimes, it's the most caring thing you can do for yourself. And weirdly, sometimes, even for them. Okay, so to wrap up, toxic friendships are tough to navigate. especially when culture tells you to keep the peace. But your mental health matters. Recognizing the patterns, setting boundaries, and knowing when to step back, that's not selfish, that's yeah.
And hey, letting go of a friendship that's dragging you down, it makes space for people who actually lift you up. That's the goal.
Yes. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. If this hit close to home, drop your thoughts in the comments. We genuinely love hearing your stories.
And next episode, we're flipping the script. We're talking about how to build friendships that actually nourish you. So stay tuned.
Until then, be kind to yourself. Okay. Bye.